And welcome to another CIRF report. This is a big, powerful week. We have a first quarter moon on steroids, and we have some other big, passionate opportunities. We have Big Mind this week, review. It's a big week. So December 14th to December 20th, 2023. Let's do this. Let's go surfing. All right, here is our influence chart. And by the way, I've got my microphone smashed up now to my face. So if it gets saturated, I need to know because I'm pressing the limit on this, on how loud I can be. Is this good? Is this audio good? Is it better? Does it need to get even louder? I can't imagine. But here's our influence chart. And putting it all together, it's a very low congruency score, but the overlap seems to be the Uranus aspect. The I-Ching says steady pace, and that's not very Uranus kind of a thing, but when we chart out all that the I-Ching includes, you're going to see the emphasis on the first quarter moon plus all the square. There's the definition of a quarter moon, first quarter moon, is the square aspect, the 90 degrees. So by definition, you have a square. Well, there's a lot more squares that are right there on that first quarter moon, which makes it much more pressurized and a lot more motivating for our lunar goals. So it's perfect. Steady pace just seems perfect. But then we also have these opportunities, and one of them is going to last until the end of March 2024. Saturn sextile Jupiter, that starts this week, and it represents some really neat opportunities for us. But also Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius, our new moon lunar phase that we're in. So all piggybacking on each other, very supportive of each other, these energies. So steady pace there. Dreambot, a little bit different. It says bad happenings, but also sweet deals. So we know about our Jupiter influence and our Sagittarian influence. It's sweet synchronistic deals. So there's your overlap, the Jupiter influence, the Uranus aspect. We'll get into all this and how all of it comes together, but there's opportunity in the horizon. We need to keep moving forward. It's kind of like you're moving forward and also looking at all the opportunities because things are changing. All right, enough of that. Let's get started. A big shout out to two folks who tied, Not For Me to Say and John Doe. Congratulations to both of you. And you tied even in the replies. You had 2 replies each. Way to go. And 2 of our all-star commenters. So thank you, everybody, for commenting. We had a record amount of comments this week. Thanks, everybody, for having dialogue and helping out the algorithm. Let's get started on... Whoopsie. I didn't mean to have that there. Let's get to the Dreambot. And the top word, today's Dreambot in people's dreams is candy. Sweets. So we want sweet deal. And you can see here, there's candy, there's cake, there's deal, bought. So it's like opportunity land. It's like a feeding frenzy, right, in the Dreambot. And sweet. It wants sweet, not just food, but food is in there, but it really wants the sweet deals. Then the red arrows is scary things, scare, losing, break, happening, went, done. So that now there is a red alert here because I don't recall seeing America in any of the recent Dreambot runs. So want to keep an eye on that, especially when we have a red meme of bad happenings. I'm not a big fear-mongering fan, so don't let this be construed as I am putting you in fear and you need to get ready and all that. No, We just want accuracy and what's accurate into people's dreams. What are people dreaming? Well, there does seem to be a meme of scary, losing, break, that kind of stuff. So linguistic set number 1 is scary, losing, tube, America. And I was thinking, what does that mean? Does that mean YouTube? Does tube America mean YouTube, or is it tube more of a transportation? But anyway, what do you guys think? Scary, losing, tube America. What is that suggesting for us? All right, let's move on. So on the one hand, bad happenings. On the other hand, sweet deals. And this is our overview of astrology. This is the big macro view. We are in the eclipse cycle of Libra. Within that, we are in the new moon phase of Sagittarius. Obviously not new moon right now. That was last CIRF week. But now we're in between the new moon and the full moon in Cancer. All of this supporting the eclipse cycle of Libra. So we're all trying to improve, or would be best to work on in the big macro scheme of things. Each one of these increments or steps is meant to improve your Libra type traits. So being able to negotiate with others and harmonize and get along, understand others. Beauty and the way you look might be in there. Art and the way you create might be in there. So, and in this micro, then in our week, we are in the Sagittarian lunar goals for this month, and it is at the first quarter moon. So it is go time. So that's where we get the steady pace forward. Now, in our energy graph, we normally have just one thing here. And I put it all together, all these 3 main influences I put together as on the prowl for sweet deals, not just because of the Dreambot run, but because of the blue line here, which is a growing influence all week, which is the Jupiter sextile Saturn. I think that's a big one. It's going to last until the end of March. 2 fairly slow planets. One of them, Jupiter, is in retrograde right now. We have the electric passion dance. We have a dance between Mars and Venus that's going to get really electrocuted by Uranus. All right. And that could be good or bad, but it's powerful. Either way, it's electric. And then you have the first quarter moon that's on steroids, meaning that there's several squares together, and it's very pressurized into, hey, let's start getting things done. Now, the only thing not in here, which is also a huge influence, is Mercury and Jupiter in a trine. They're both retrograde. And that is, that's a big part of this, and it's going to last all week. Let's see. Anything to report on the December look, the December chart? We're in Mercury retrograde now. And that Mercury retrograde is actually going to go back into Sagittarius in the next CIRF report. We have, this is representative, this green bar right here is Mercury trine Jupiter. They're both in retrograde, so it's easy energy between the two. There's kind of a review process here in the retrogrades, and they're both reviewing analytical stuff. Jupiter is more the wisdom, the higher level consciousness stuff. So combined into the whole mind, but in a sort of a review kind of a context. And then in the middle of the week, we have Sun square Neptune. That'll be part of our first quarter moon. All right, let's get started. Thursday the 14th, the big news here. All week, we're going to be benefited by this mental review, this whole complete mind. It's going to blend analytical review of information and rational stuff and things you've always learned and memorized. And it's going to be easy flowing with synchronistic wisdom and insight, expansiveness, And that's also being reviewed. So your worldview is sort of up for grabs. It's not a negative context. This should be a very easy thing to do. It should become natural, and it's going to happen all week. It might be so easy that you not even know that it's happening in your mental aptitude or your mind processes. Then we have this Sun and Neptune that I mentioned earlier. This is the pressure to keep on dreaming, potential for self-deception because of Neptune, and it's a pressure thing, and it's kind of it's going to produce some dreams here, obviously, but there might be the pressure to find out about the dream or assimilate the dream or interpret the dream. Pressure to maybe pressurized dreams. And that will be fairly strong all week. Friday, the 15th, we have a focus now more on Venus and Uranus. Now we have 66-degree orb, so it's not super strong yet, but you're going to start to see some big changes in relationships. You're going to start seeing some instability in the financial markets. This is not financial advice, okay? You do your own research and you do your own assessment. Everyone else is going to have different predictions. I'm not predicting anything, but I'm saying the influence here suggests there's going to be some passionate people around finance, and there's going to be some unexpected changes. Now, there's also going to be a balancing act with the opposition. We are, this segmented line here, we're running out of this opposition to Jupiter, so things feel a lot less distant from the expansiveness. So the relationships are free to feel more expansive now. And instead, there's going to be some big changes, unpredictable changes, some electric current going through relationships and finance. Could be a lot, could be a little, but we're going to be dancing. And we'll get back to that here in a second. But for Saturday the 16th, this is the celestial bridge of wisdom. I want to point this out. We have the sextile here. It's the very start, and I'm working with a 4-degree orb. And we have Jupiter at 5 degrees, 56 minutes of Taurus, and Saturn at 2 degrees and 2 minutes of Pisces, making a 4-degree orb. So it's just starting here. Jupiter's going to continue to go retrograde, I think, to about a 1.5-degree orb. And then, so never really technically get to an exact sextile. Some astrologers would say, well, then that makes this whole opportunity impotent. And I disagree. This is an energy that will get stronger. It'll stay with us. It'll be kind of in the backdrop because these are further out planets than our faster moving ones. But nonetheless, it's there. And it's here's the image of this alignment. And this again lasts until March of 2024, end of March. And this opportunity combines the sturdy, disciplined structure of Saturn with the expansive synchronistic possibilities of Jupiter. It's called the bridge to wisdom, and you can see this sort of walkway. That's the Saturn. That's the discipline. That's the structure. And it's sort of a kind of a paradoxical alignment because you've got the foundation to walk on, the discipline, and there's sort of a mystery there with the Jupiter, and it's expansive. So you can see the whole cosmos here, and you have this feeling that you're going to get some downloads, some wisdom, and think in higher terms throughout all this. Feelings of wonderment, fresh chances, endless possibilities. So that's the image. And it's starting here today on Saturday, December 16th. The celestial bridge of wisdom is going to be there until the end of March. All right, now for the next one. This alignment's really cool. I fell in love with this whole arrangement here. So I highlighted it in light gray. And we have Venus and Mars in a semi-sextile. And what that does is bring and represent growth of passion. Whenever you have Mars and Venus together, we've got a dance. So this is a dance, and Venus is in Scorpio with passion, and Mars itself just wants to lead and do and really carry on. And so we've got the Sagittarian masculine, and we've got the Venus and Scorpio, the very passionate feminine. So we've got a dance going on. Here's our image as I describe this. And so we've got the masculine and the feminine in a dance. It's bringing up passion. It's growing, right? And it's growing throughout the week and to the end. So you saw that curve earlier. It's basically starting relatively high and just getting maxed out by the end of our CIRF week. But this is completed with Uranus aspect. So you can imagine two people dancing like that picture, but then, I got to bring in Uranus on this. So then all of a sudden, boom, big electricity and electric bolts. Now, all things can happen here. Sometimes that's motivating, right? Just a little bit of electricity and you're like, your hair stands on end, and you get surprised, and then that really makes you feel motivated and energetic, or it can kill if it's too much. And so I'm not suggesting the latter, but we don't know, and that's the whole point of Uranus. That's why Uranus is correlated with lightning bolts. It can be really helpful if you can contain it, if you can adapt to it and shift, or it can stun and even kill. Hopefully that's not the case, but you can see the unpredictable nature of this week starting here on Sunday the 17th. It's the dance, high amounts of passion, and when Uranus joins the dance, it introduces spontaneous and unexpected moves. This couple, if they're growing passion together, is changed and morphed, and maybe moments of tension, maybe moments of surprise, but all the while, love and passion grows. Okay, and then Monday the 18th, we're back to just touching base with the strongest alignments on Monday the 18th of December is the Mercury and Jupiter. So that's hanging out all week. I'm not emphasizing it, but we need to consider that. Mind is complete here. Mentally positive. It feels like an air of positivity. You also have that square over to Pluto, but it's not a very tight alignment. So the bigger alignment is Mercury trine Jupiter. And then on Tuesday, we got the first quarter moon, and this is what I was talking about earlier. You got a square with sun and moon at the first quarter moon. This is at 12:39 p.m. on the 19th of December, Central Standard Time. And at that same time, you've got these three figures all with the two planets over here, Neptune and Moon. And so lots of 90-degree energy, lots of conflicted and pressurized energy at the first quarter moon, which can really only help motivate us to get our Sagittarian goals either started or like maximum energy to carry those out, at least at the very minimum, get them started. Doesn't mean you have to finish them. What are your Sagittarian goals? I've got one of mine is reading this, which is the Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Very philosophical. And hopefully higher level and take me to some new ideas. That's one of my Sagittarian goals. And so I will feel the pressure, at least in the evening on Tuesday, I'm sure, to be reading that book. Much stronger pressure than our normal first quarter moon. It is over the Piscean Neptune, so the ruler of Pisces. So things are a lot more dreamy. They can be tricky. We can have the pressure to escape. That's also a risk with this energy. So don't be escaping. I wouldn't do that. I would just use this pressure and conflicted energy to help motivate you to get your lunar goals started. And then on Wednesday, we have the climax of the dance that we talked about earlier, the Venus and Mars. Those are perfectly aligned in the middle of the day on the 20th of December. Mars and Venus both at 19 degrees, 1 minute. So that's the climax of the dance of the passion. And then very close, 19 degrees and 40 minutes. So that's within, well within 1 degree of Uranus. So this thing is maxed out right here, this whole alignment. So we have lots of fun at our fingertips, lots of passion, lots of change, lots of instability in the financial markets, potentially. Well, and we have a lot of opportunities happening at the behest of Saturn. Now, so we can choose fun versus discipline. Which one do you choose? Do you want to involve yourself out and about and find passion and get, dancing around all these changes? Or do you want to go be introspective and listen to the demands and the discipline from Saturn? But you'll get some opportunities there if you do that. I wouldn't avoid that. But I'm not really sure that you're going to be able to honor both of those. Maybe cut it up halfway in the day, maybe go out at night and maybe do your literal dance on Wednesday the 20th. The choice is yours, and you don't have to. There's free will on either one of these, but the energies are strong. So for the very serious and disciplined folks anyway, you could get some opportunities with Mercury and Sun, so opportunities with your ego and your identity, or reflecting Mercury retrograde, and also connecting with Jupiter, the bridge of wisdom. So it's going to be very insightful opportunity there. You choose whichever one you want to work on. Generally, if it's mind, you'd probably go inward and do things in a disciplined way and honor the Saturn steering you. Otherwise, if you're kind of more opportunistic or feeling expansive and want to grow your passion, maybe you want to take this opportunity to invigorate an old passionate relationship and get it off of the kind of the stale of it. You can use this alignment and go have some fun and maybe just do it spontaneously so that you can minimize the rigidness that doesn't really correlate well with Uranus. So you can be on your feet and adapting and enjoying the whole experience. All right, let's get into the I-Ching, and we get into 53, the steady pace. The expected influence embodies a patient and persistent energy, emphasizing steady advancement towards a goal. The growing influence becomes more apparent over time. It feels like a desire to keep on going steadily, a sense of gradual growth unfolding over time, evokes the sensation of building momentum and increasing influence, and conveys a sense of wisdom accumulating with each progressive step. And that's a perfect match to the Jupiter and Saturn. All right, so now it's time to summarize our influence. Let's do that now. Let's change our view. And here's our picture. We're on the Prowl, energetically feeling charged to go looking. Go looking for what? For sweet deals, of course. Are you surprised that there is a lot going on this week? There's a clear and whole mind available, reviewing analytical and philosophical information. That's the Mercury retrograde trine Jupiter retrograde. Expect unpredictable changes in relationships and possibly in the financial markets. That's the Venus opposed Uranus, but also throw in the semi-sextile to Mars. By Saturday, the celestial bridge of wisdom opens, guiding you to new disciplines and higher consciousness. That's a Jupiter sextile Saturn. And the first quarter moon's pressure is multiplied by other squares, activating movement toward your Sagittarian lunar goals. That's why I have a Sagittarian here with his arrow drawn and ready to prowl on any sweet deals that come possibly out of the electrical changes of Uranus. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled solution. And there were no change lines, so we're back to hexagram 53, but now we're looking for behaviors. Maintain a steady and consistent pace in your pursuits, focusing on small, achievable steps to foster incremental growth. Cultivate patience and persistence in your actions, embracing a measured and deliberate approach to your journey. Be more mindful, make conscious choices, recognize and leverage small successes to build momentum, and strategically plan your endeavors while remaining adaptable to changes. Yes, the foot stomper is there because Uranus is a huge influence on our other alignments. Allow the influence of gradual progress to unfold naturally, developing a flexible mindset to navigate shifts along the way. And there's a lot of things that I've incorporated into our solution slide, so I'll hold off on that. And I apparently forgot to annotate where we are, but I know where we are. This is our conversion chart. This is on Tuesday, December 19th, where the first quarter moon is. This is the exact time of the first quarter moon, midday, at least in Central Time Zone, and we're at 27 degrees of Pisces, tropical Pisces, which puts us into hexagram 36 of the rave, and it's that one little sliver where sidereal Pisces overshoots or overlaps with tropical Pisces. So we're right there. So we have sidereal Pisces and tropical Pisces. The darkening of the light, 36. Do you guys recognize that? We've had that for 2 weeks in the I-Ching readings, two CIRF reports in a row, and now we're on our third week of darkening of the light, this time in the rave. That's weird. The rule of cycles in which decline is a natural but not enduring stage. Consider this, we had the last two were in the waning crescent. Okay, that's darkening of the light. Then we had the new moon. Okay, that's complete dark in essence. And now we're starting to get into the December 21st, the solstice. That's another darkening of the light. So maybe it's referring to that. But let's get more specific. Line 6 is the inevitable survival of right. It's justice, the knowledge and attendant faith that the powers of darkness eventually destroy themselves. Those whom the gods wish to destroy, they first make mad. The correctedness of crisis when it arises out of pure feelings. And I think I misspoke. It's the correctness. You're not correcting anything. It's just the crisis and how it is right to be there. It's inevitable. And when it arises out of pure feelings. Otherwise, the sorrow or cynicism that comes with seeing that despite the correctness of the feelings, there is always crisis. So that's kind of like the poor me, that all you can see is crisis all the time, and you start to get cynical. So that's the downside of this energy, or this hexagram. The upside is the correctness of crisis when it arises out of pure feelings and it's meant for justice. And when that happens, rightness prevails. All right, back to our solution slide. And is this brought to you by Intervention Therapy? And there's for people who are wanting inner peace. All right. We prepare our solution slide. Remember, we have the I-Ching 53 with no change lines, so we maintain the steady pace for behaviors. That's a perfect match to our waxing crescent moon to the first quarter moon, especially with all those squares. And we have justice with the survival of right in the rave. In other words, the survival of what is right. And then we have Sidereal Pisces. Here we go for our recommended behaviors. Because the power of darkness destroy themselves, according to the rave, there stands the inevitable survival of right. And as justice is being levied at the first quarter moon in both tropical and sidereal Pisces, we need to concentrate on keeping a steady pace and doing what is right. This is a perfect match to the first quarter moon, so be guided by your lunar goals and begin working towards achieving them. The emphasis on Pisces this week means that we should be fostering compassion, nurturing intuition, cultivating creativity, adapting to change, and embracing some sort of oneness or spirituality, which is a perfect overlap to our overall 30-day, 29-day Sagittarian cycle. Keep doing what is right for you as measured by both your highest values and your lunar goals for the month. Trust that justice and rightness are always inevitable, so continue forgiving yourself, staying true to your path, and improving your presence on this plane. And you can see how I'm threading the Sagittarian influence in through this recommendation, and it works really well with the outlay that we have here. All right, we've got another slide for you, and that is the runes. And the cool thing this week is it all seems to center around continuing to move forward, like that steady pace, despite all these distractions that are going on everywhere, and opportunities. So you have that kind of prowl sort of flair to it. But I want to keep moving this. I want to keep moving forward this week. And while I do, might as well look for sweet deals. I've got the Gebu, and this is because of the Libra cycle, the Libra eclipse cycle that we're in. And I'm using AWAS because I do want progress. I want hard work and service, but it's, in my opinion, a great combination of the sidereal Pisces and also the steady pace. The Pisces is mutable, so we have the ability to adapt. I think we need to adapt because we got the big electric Uranus and change coming, particularly to relationships, possibly finance, or change to your passion. You can look at it several different ways, but I want to keep on moving, and that's the AWAS. Keep working hard, keep progressing through purpose, physical, mental stamina. I think mentally it should be a good week for all of us, although the risk is that you might easily get into a rumination because it's retrograde on both Mercury and Jupiter. So there's always a mixed bag. There's always a pros and cons of energy. And so the good side is that it should feel optimistic, it should feel, easy, and complete. But the bad side is it might easily get degrading into more of a rumination or regret because you're reviewing old stuff. Maybe you had starting to see a changing worldview and belief system, and that could spawn like good ideas, but also could spawn like regret for having the old worldview for so long. You might see a lot of that. So anyway, use the energy well, follow the solution slide. Was this of help to you? If so, give us a like, and thank you for your follows and comments. Love you all. We'll see you next week for another Surf Report. Take care.